Our first guest has been working tirelessly to sound the alarm on deep state corruption at the FBI and beyond. We're joined tonight by Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida. He serves on a number of key committees. They include Judiciary, Budget, and Armed Services. Congressman, good to have you with us. Let's begin with a Democratic response, if you will, on the Intel Committee and what you make of it.
Well, first, let me say, as a fan of the show, Lou, it is great to have you back, and I appreciate you having me on upon your return. The Democratic memo is politics wrapped in circular logic. The principal claim of the Republican memo is that cash at the DNC was convertible into a government-sponsored warrant to spy on American citizens. And yet in the Democrat memo, you don't see Hillary Clinton's name or the DNC mentioned even once. The Democrat memo confirms that the dossier was used as a part of the effort to spy on Americans. They ignore the fact that in the memo prepared by Senators Grassley and Graham, even the FBI agreed to declassify the admission that this was a significant portion. The dossier was the significant portion of the warrant to spy on American citizens. That's what we've got to clean up, Lou.
Indeed, and there is so much to clean up, it seems. When we look at the striking thing, it seems to me about that memo, certainly, is that it doesn't directly contradict anything that the Republican memorandum set forth. It also makes it clear that the smear research firm of Fusion GPS, make that Fusion GPS, it was clearly involved in a smear against the presidential candidate, Donald Trump. And then that was used by the FBI and the Department of Justice before the FISA court. I mean, this is reaching levels that are irresistible, it seems, when you consider calling for a second special counsel or further investigation by the DOJ itself.
Well, you're absolutely right, Lou, and the Democrats trying to explain the FBI's conduct are in a rhetorical tailspin. I recall when Adam Schiff was reading the dossier into the record as if it was the Magna Carta, and now all of a sudden you have him trying to de-emphasize the role of the dossier in getting the warrant to spy on American citizens. So time and again, Democrats have been inconsistent. They've fought against transparency, and we've got to drain this swamp by finding out who was engaged in these improper practices, and there need to be real consequences. And I think some people will go to jail.
Yeah, and certainly it appears that a large number of people perhaps even may be on their way to jail. And talking about reading that document as if it were the Magna Carta, Adam Schiff, whom the president has categorized as a bad guy, is also the same fellow who was calling for accountability on the part of President Obama, acknowledging in the earliest days of these competing, if you will, contrasting memoranda from first the majority party, the Republican Party, and then now the Democratic Party, making it clear that President Obama bore great responsibility for not responding to intervention in our elections.
Well, you're so right, Lou, and that's precisely why the great work of Devin Nunes and the Intelligence Committee is so important. We've got to get answers to these critical questions about who knew what when, because if you think about the precedent that is set here to use the intelligence process as a way to achieve a political outcome, whether Republicans or Democrats are in charge in the future, we can never let that happen again.
And Devin Nunes, the chairman of the House Intel Committee, who's done heroic work here, he said it absolutely correctly. We have a secret court that is now politicized, has been exploited for political purposes by the Obama administration, and without anyone being held to account. Do you think that will change in the ensuing weeks and months now?
It really should, Lou. We should come together as Republicans and Democrats to find reforms that would improve the FISA process. This is a secret court where there's no defense attorney, and you can obviously see how politics infected this process. I mean, you had someone in Bruce Orr who was shuttling in information to the intelligence community because his wife had been hired by people funded by the Democratic Party. We can never allow that to happen, and it's why it's so important that we continue this investigation and that we have all the tools to ensure that we've got a depoliticized process going forward.
And as you well know, it's interesting that we are now only in what Chairman Nunes calls phase 2 but certainly an island unto itself. The U.S. State Department has gone all but unexamined in this process, and
well, that's going to change, Lou. There were elements of the State Department that functioned as a wing of the Hillary Clinton for President campaign, shuttling information. And I think that as we learn more about the role of the State Department and the extent to which they intertangled with the web of Hillary Clinton conspirators, we'll learn exactly what we need to do to drain the swamp at the State Department and ensure that it is not subject to this type of political influence. Most of the people who work for the FBI and the State Department do a great job on the front lines, but at the head shed during the Obama-Clinton tenure, there was far too much politics, and that's what we've got to fix during the Trump presidency.
Congressman Gaetz, thanks so much for all you're doing, all your hard work, and good to see you here tonight. Thanks so much.
Good to see you.